Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. This is Shailesh Manjrekar here at CloudFabrix. Today I wanted to talk to you about the cloud operating model and the role AIOps plays into it. We frequently get asked from customers as to, hey, how does AIOps help into my digital transformation journey? The businesses are increasingly adopting not just cloud but multi-cloud environments. Clearly for the agility and the scale and the self-service nature which cloud and multi-cloud bring to the table. And in a recent survey, almost 76% respondents claimed that they had more than one cloud environment. And this could be a private cloud, a hybrid cloud, or a multi-cloud environment, where typically you are running your system of records in an hybrid cloud environment, and the public cloud and multi-cloud is used for your system of engagements. What the cloud operating model is, it's a blueprint for moving from a dedicated three-tiered architecture, which used to be static in nature, to a more dynamic, ephemeral, on-demand, and services-based cloud, hybrid cloud, and multi-cloud environments. So this affects at least four of the technology stacks. The infrastructure layer, it affects the security layer, the networking layer, and then finally the application layers. And how is that? If you see, the infrastructure layer is now increasingly getting deployed as infrastructure as a code, and it's essentially been leveraging declarative templates which prescribe how the infrastructure should be deployed, and these templates are version controlled, and you are now able to deploy that infrastructure multiple times exactly the same way you deployed it the first time. If you look at the security stack or the security layer, it used to be in a very high trust environment based on IP, which is moving into a low trust or even zero trust cloud environment where it's becoming more identity based. If you look at the networking layer, it used to be host and IP based, which is now moving into more around the services layer, which is where you are discovering this number of services and creating a registry out of it. And then the services are talking within themselves using service meshes and sidecar proxies. Whereas the application layer, which used to be really tied to this dedicated infrastructure, is now evolving into microservices and being increasingly getting deployed with Kubernetes. What all of this is doing is creating enormous pressures on the operational teams. And even a small change in one of the services can have a butterfly effect across the entire deployment. And this is really the genesis of the pressure being put on both the application teams and the platform teams. So if you look how the businesses have evolved to cater to this new paradigm shift, so traditionally used to have application teams and platform teams, and each of them used to have an engineering and an operational discipline. This is now evolving more into a DevOps team, where the DevOps teams are not only just responsible for development of the applications, but also provisioning the applications and also provisioning the required infrastructure. And the platform teams are evolving more into a centralized role where they're creating this pool of services across this four domains which we talked about, and they're creating the necessary compliance and governance requirement to ensure that all of this is working in tandem. AIOps has a very important role to play in this, in fact, a paramount role, where you are leveraging AI ML to reduce the burden on the DevOps team and the platform teams who are pretty much working in an hyperdrive mode. AIOps technologies go and discover this cloud operating model to create the required context and the application dependency maps, which can then be leveraged for event correlation. They can be leveraged for root cause analysis and anomaly detection, as well as service management, where you're leveraging service ticket platforms, and then eventually also for FinOps, where you're optimizing the cloud environments. So again, AIOps is very complementary to this cloud operating model. We'll talk about how CloudFabrix specifically is building out the ecosystem to complement the cloud operating system in the next episode. But that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Talk to you soon next time.